Hello everybody, welcome back to the Toaster today. Hope you're doing well. We are in Roottreemania, and we have some infidelities to find out. I am recording this on the hottest day of the year, just to let you all know. They'll say so far. So if you hit my fan, I'm sorry. If you see me sweat, I'm sorry. But let's jump in. So we need to go into here. Pharaoh, Christine, Pharaoh. We've got these three. This one, that one is nearly there. Ford Susan Ford, almost there. And these two unknown mysteries. Right. As usual, it's been a while since I recorded this. Let me try and retrace my steps. So we obviously know the picture 2 missing pages is a big mystery. For Pharaoh, Christine, she was the cooking one, right? Is that right? She was the one that was in the spagalucci's or something like that. So there is apparently two mysteries in here. We've got two names in here, Flora and Yates, but I don't know if Flora and Yates are relevant. Stephen is obviously all right. Let's start what we know. We know Stephen Garland. We've been here, but let's retrace our steps. Okay, that was a bad start to the episode, wasn't it? Is this all I get from their book? Because they had a book, didn't they? Kitchen Tales. That's it, Kitchen Tales. So this is their book, Kitchen Tales. Did I get anything from that? I did. Mark Zimmer, did we get? That's not Steve Garland, is it? Let's just go through here. Okay, it's just saying it was this. So this is where I must have got this from, Garnishing the Truth. Re-releases Garnishing the Truth. So can I search for that? Garnishing the... Oh, this must be where the book came from. Oh, there's none for that. Okay, that's odd. Can we search for that in Spider Search maybe? Because I'm just trying to remember. It was just quite satisfying after Jura appeared. Oh, so maybe I don't have this copy. Maybe I don't have this book because it's Garland and Zimmer. Do I need both of those names? And have I done this before? I feel like I've been here before. Maybe I didn't put in Steve Garland. Maybe I'll try both. I've never done a two-person name. Steve Garland and where's my and key nowadays? Where is my and key? Oh my god, where's my and key? 7, there we go. Oh, that's not right, is it? Space, please. I don't think I have seen this actually. I'm just trying to retrace my steps, but I feel like I don't remember searching tools names before. So I must have done this before, but just for one of their names. The introduction of this book is a series of acknowledgements from Steve. The first is Christine. Thank you for everything. Your support means the world to me. You're the apple of my pie. Very cute. Christine. Steve, Christine. The second is to James and Robert. You're becoming amazing men. James and Robert must be their children. And incredible chefs. I guess I'm a good teacher. The final is to Mark Zimmer, the co-writer. You proved my storytelling approach to recipes should be popular. Without you, this book couldn't exist. There is also a foreword by Mark Zimmer. I first met Steve in 1978 when he taught a cooking class. The next time I saw him was over a decade later when he was suing me for stealing his recipes. Yes, really. So you might wonder what I'm doing in this introduction. Well, turns out that Steve and I had more in common than we thought. Instead of settling in court, we settled at McCarran's brew house over a game of darts. They said they'd given up the first drink of the night free for an entire year for mentioning them. Okay, maybe we'll search the brew house. By the end of the game, he and I agreed we'd both rather make a ton of money together than spend a ton of money on lawyers. It's pretty rare to meet your best friend so late in life, but when I decided to retire, I moved to Boston, just so we could hang out. So if you're browsing this book in a bookstore, please buy our book. We need more money when the free beer runs out and the bookstock will use the sale. Right, okay. So do I have children, James and Robert Garland. I wonder if they're in order. Maybe... I don't really know this, do I? But there is a James. And there is a Robert. There is a Robert. I suppose we know their surname as well, don't we? Garland. Nope, not in there. Garland. Right. Robin. Did I type in Robert? I definitely type in Robert. Come on. I feel like my mouse is slightly... Look at that. I feel like it's slightly out of sync. I might just reopen the game. Right, I don't know if that helped. But I feel like I was being inaccurate this whole time. So let's try Robert. James Garland. James Garland. Nothing. And Robert Garland. Nothing. Okay, cool. Real. The only proper noun is McCarran's Brew House. So let's search for that. There we go. Pub in Boston. They have a website apparently. The bar has been around a long time. On the site, there's a list of famous people who've had a drink there, including former presidents of the US. Wow. Oh, of the US, not of the Roottreemania Company. There's also a few listings of television shows and books that have mentioned McCarran's as well as how they came up. One of them is Garnishing the Truth, which the site has to say about local and regular Steve Garland. Wrote a book about food. We prefer cocktails, but he gave us a shout out, and we ain't gonna say no to free press. So grab a bite at the kids' joint Friday. At his kids' joint Friday, and then swing by to meet him for a drink. So Friday is a restaurant belonging to one of his children. Friday's a fairly popular restaurant in Boston. They don't have a website, but many locals seem to mention them in various places. One more in-depth review explains that it's not a full restaurant, just a front door and a very small interior at the window. Usually the restaurant only serves vegetables, but a lot of reviews says that in spite of that, it's delicious. It sounds really nice. You also find a short story about it listed on a website called My Boston Homepage. Whoever runs the page seems to just link to random sites related to Boston, tell person adult related anecdotes related to Boston, and give them relatively short opinions on things in Boston. It's very unorganized. It has this to say about Friday: wicked overrated. I saw it in Chef's Signature, so I went there and there's a huge line. Didn't have a single meat dish. What's even the point? Is Chef's Signature periodical? It is a periodical. Oh my god, still more periodicals? I don't believe it. Chef's Signature Friday. We got chefssig.jpg. Covered Friday less than a year ago, right around the time you were doing your initial investigation. Good timing. Each article in Chef's Signature tends to focus on a restaurant, and like their magazine's name implies, each restaurant lists their one main dish, and the head chef is known for. Friday's signature is samosa cone. The cover of the main article has been added to evidence. Samosa cone. That sounds like a villain. Samosa cone. Right, let's... We got two chefs out of this? Look at them. Can a vegetarian diet be trendy? In my experience, no. Sitting down with the Garland, the new boys in Boston. It looks like Sam and Mark. Saturday Morning Throwback is a nationally published magazine targeted towards fans of unusual restaurants. The two brothers own a small walk-up window in Boston called Friday, a play on the tie-dye shirts that the servers wear. Oh, brilliant. That exclusively serves vegetarian dishes. Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. The signature is a samosa cone, which forms a distance somewhat resembling a traditional ice cream. With the waffle pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and that sounds really nice, actually. Robert, who's 3 years younger than James. Maybe him. Well, it's one of them. Although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the sous chef jacket, so that must mean he is the younger, because he's wearing a jacket. It's not always red, is it? But that is definitely a sous chefy jacket. Sorry. James answers most of his interview's questions. James credits his love for food and his culinary skills and upbringing. Most kids hate vegetables growing up, but they didn't have parents like we did. My father was a chef and my mother grew up on a farm aspired his restaurant. That's how they met. I don't have any memories from the farm or anything like that since we moved here before I could even talk, but they told me stories. My dad's a great storyteller. He even wrote a book that partially helped fund Friday. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. However, unfortunately, they never got off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary even though Robert was born. There we go. So that's the link. Even after. When did the affair happen? I still don't know about that really, or I don't remember it. Before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the diner where he worked, my dad had no room for experimenting, so he'd exercise his skills at home on his days off. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family on those days, and even though we were hyper kids running around and causing a ruckus, there were some of our family's favourite moments as we were all together. Mum always had the eye for the best vegetables for him to work with, and they did best to pass that on to us. This is lovely. This is a cool family, apart from the affair. Apart from the infidelity and one of these children isn't his. According to the article, their parents, who are now retired, visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert, the Sistine apple. The apple pie has always been my mum's favourite. My dad always had this stupid line he used to make her laugh involving apple pie. Most people realise it's a Sistine Chapel pun and assume that's all there is to it, but it's actually secretly named after them, sort of. What? How is it? Sistine Apple? Christine, Stephen. Ah, Sistine. I see it. Great. You're both chefs. Lock it in. Chef. And you're still a secretary at this point, so leave you there. Let's put you in there. Oh, wait. Oh, did I get the names the wrong way around? I think I did. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James. I did. James seems like a younger name. Should have put that together. Robert. In. Oh, right. Okay. We're not getting a lock in. Oh dear. We should have had a lock in by now. Is it 4? Wait, are we doing 5s? Oh, we're doing 5s. Okay. God, that panicked me for a moment. I was like, "Geez, we've biffed something up." Okay, we're on 5s now. So we still don't have a picture of Pharaoh Christine. Let's try the Sistine Apple. It sounds like a city. Sistinapolis, isn't that a place? Cincinnati? I don't know. No, the Sistine Apple links to there as well. Right. That's tricky then. How do we get this? I don't know. I don't know how we get the name. I just ran through some stuff and I don't know, unfortunately. So maybe that's one we'll have to come back to. Oh, it's so annoying. We're so close to getting it as well. Right. I need to figure out these are unknowns. We could try get Ford Susan, but let's try and get an unknown. This is going to be bad, isn't it? Right. So I think it's time I look into Picot. Picot? There's 8 clues still there. There is also one notable event. Why haven't we looked at in here? None of them wasn't relevant. I don't know about this. I don't know about the notable event start here being one. So those 2 locked off. Those 2 are done. Reminders possible. These are all possible. Chef signature done. 6 pieces. Sam Madsen. There must be something about Sam. Okay, 6 pieces is the best place to start. Let's have another read through here. I think it must be about this. A guy tried to expand the market. Went on overseas for weeks at a time, spending money on unofficial business. And he said to bribe at least one politician in Brazil. So, can we search for Brazil? Is that... It's a bit vague. Guy Roottreemania. Was that his name? Guy Roottreemania? It was, right? Guy Hudson? Guy Hudson, yeah. Guy Hudson? Nothing. Guy Hudson, Brazil? Maybe let's try the other way around. No. Roottreemania, Brazil? Ah! Roottreemania, Brazil, finally. Brazil. What? Roottreemania, Brazil, sometimes erroneously referred to as Roottreemania, Brazil, is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottreemania candy. It was developed as part of the Roottreemania Everywhere initiative near the beginning of 1979. We'll search that in a second. Unlike some of the other Roottreemania Everywhere results, Roottreemania Brazil seems to be a success. You do some rough translating and find a significant amount of information about it. Brazil was the only region in which caviar were a hit. Caviar was a hit. The primary reason that the factory still exists today is solely to create the flavour, which comes in its own sound line. Oh my god, really? Why? Caviar? It sounds horrible when I heard about it, but it's a hit in Brazil. A small town named Alvalegos, near São Bernardo do Campo, became the location chosen by the Roottreemania Candy Company after a newly elected local politician named Edson Soares. Edson Soares? No, that was Edison, wasn't it? We had an Edson early, didn't we? But that was in the other family. Oh, am I making something up? I don't know where it was. Didn't we heard about Edsons at some point? Who were they? I don't know. Anyway, Edson Soares heard that they were planning a new factory and petitioned them in early 2017. The factory was controversial as locals did not want it there. The Roottrees visited Brazil around Christmas and managed to break ground on the project. Since then, however, it's been operating relatively smoothly except for 2 incidents. The first was Incendio da Bordo in 1982. The second was an unsuccessful strike in 1955. All the work has been replaced. Wow. The factory was originally built and run, according to paperwork at the time, by a small company called Nova Corporação de Doces Brasil, which literally translates to New Brazil Candy Corporation. The company no longer exists. Ooh. Right, this is a really important webpage. There's a lot going on here. Shall we search for Roottree? Let's start at the top. Roottree everywhere. Was it expansion? This is going to lead us to so many other rabbit holes though. Okay, I've got to remember to go back to Roottreemania Brazil. It was expansion in the late 1970s. It coincided with some other large changes at the company and had mixed success. As far as you can tell, the different companies related to it were all formed in very different and sometimes haphazard ways. There's minimal organized information about the history of the expansion itself online. You glean the following. But this region, yes, we know about Roottree. Canada, Mexico, and such countries in Europe, mostly the UK. Okay, maybe we can search for Roottree Canada, Roottree Mexico, Roottree UK. Maybe. Oh my god, there's more. Decided before I had no share in Australia, Brazil, China, and France. My god. Each of these. Okay, so these seem to be the important ones. Okay, let's search for. We're really getting out of the rabbit hole into a different one. Roottree Oz is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute. Yes, 1979. According to the history website, well, it's when are affairs happening? Do we have? Oh no, just we got an age range, haven't we? When were you? Can't remember. We must be in 1970. I think maybe both of these are related to the abroad affairs. Okay. Charles Martin, who owned a company that manufactured licorice in Australia, was tapped to run the Roottree factory after he impressed the American leadership of the Roottree Candy Company at the time. Did have some success, but only in certain regions. The manufacturing lecture of the company shuttered in 1992 after the death of Martin, and Roottree Oz now serves as importer and distributor. Can we look at Charles Martin? He made Martin's licorice bullets. Most of his history is unrelated to the Roottrees. However, in 1979, he helped develop Roottree Oz. He used his own wealth to build a new factory, and they distributed the maple treats through the same method he had already been using for his previous candy venture. This seems red herringy. I don't know. Website about Australian commerce mentions that he had a very unusual business agreement with the main Roottree company in the US, much like how the Clanted Trust distributed the profits from the Roottree company, even to the Roottree family. The profits of the Roottree were 50-50 between the American Roottree company and Martin himself. Just him? Oh my god, well, good for you, Martin. This made Martin very, very wealthy, but also led to some many cost-cutting measures meant to increase profits as much as possible. Especially towards the end of Martin's life in the 1990s, Roottree kind of gained a poor reputation in Australia and sales suffered. Robin Martin, who sold both businesses. So let's have a look at Robin Martin. Very rich, surely. Top 100 wealthiest women in the world. There we go. She owns a private island off the coast of Australia where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband, and is there... No, wait, this wouldn't make sense. Oh, she has no husband. Wait, she has a child. How old is she? She has no husband, and there was a widely accepted rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she would never have children. Oh my god. You find a joke on a site called Edgy Jokes that implies she was quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving Robin's eggs. From what it's worth, Martin seemed to lean into the rumours in the 80s. She once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that said simply "satisfied partner" on it. Do we think maybe? How old is Robin? If he died, he was born in 1923 and he died at the age of 70-ish. Yeah, 70. So he would have been 56, so she would have been about 20 some odd ish. That is prime age for Guy. That is his MO, isn't it? 20 something. That's it. That's it. Can I search for top 100 wealthy women in the world? No. Can I search for edgy jokes? That seems like an odd one to search for. There's a lot of jokes about the band U2. Okay. Robin's age, I'm sure, gets the same thing. Okay. I don't know about this then. Is satisfied partner? No. Robin Martin. I don't know where I'd go from here, so maybe this is a dead end. What was his other one? Martin's Licorice Bullets. Let's have a look for that. No, this is the same page. Okay, maybe a dead end. Potentially a potential on Robin Martin. Let's use my notepad that I haven't used in forever because I can't find my book. Robin Martin. There we go. Potential. Roottree everywhere. Let's try China Roottree. wonder why they're Roottree Oz, Roottree Brazil, and China Roottree. Don't know. China Roottree is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute. Yes. 1979, during the late 70s, China began to go through a period of economic reform. It led to many new opportunities for American companies. Yes. Lang Hongbo, who was said to personally win over the Roottree family and was the owner of multiple textile factories, did not wish to import the ingredients and build a special factory to manufacture the candy in China. So instead, they made a deal to import bulk unpackaged Roottree candy and label it not only China but additional. Wow, okay. Seems like a good deal. Hongbo, who was already in his mid-50s when the deal happened, only had daughters, and his brother Lang Hongyu took control upon his death in 1986. After Hongyu died in 1982, it passed to the oldest child from the next generation, Lang Xinyu. Okay, we're seeing a pattern here. There's a daughter. Let's have a look at Lang Hongbo first. Lang Tai Textile Corporation, which is a company that has helped expand Roottree's products in China since the 1970s. The company seems very accomplished. The site has quotes from many different reporters and news articles listed on it in nearly every language. It's also mentioned quite often on websites about Chinese business, but those mentions are company focused and not people focused and don't offer any information useful to investigation. Okay. Page has a very rudimentary leadership timeline of names that prove the company has been in the Lang family for a long time. Kind of looks like a family tree. I hate to see one of those right now. It goes back at least 250 years in some. Imagine sequel to this game, the Lang Tai Textile Corp. The Lang Tais are dead. I'm pitching it now. Although they have just announced they're working on another game, or like they're helping develop another game. I'm very excited for that. Very, very intriguing. During the period where they began the Roottree Jill, Lang Hongbo in China, the family name comes first, so Lang is her last name, yes, was the CEO. He died before the internet was widespread, so there's not much out there about his name. Okay, his younger brother Lang Hongyu is featured on the company section directly following him. This also seems to be the only mention of the man. The only mention of the man? Wow. The current CEO is a woman simply listed as Xingyu. The site doesn't list her last name, though she does appear in the family tree below Hongbo. So you'd assume Lang. Lang ties a few American logos on his page. One is the Roottree logo, another is Tranquils, and the third is Pieces Age. Well, I think these will be pointless. Yeah, okay. Tranquil quilts. Name's ironic considering they're the loudest quilts you've ever seen. What? The main quilt featured on the website is a flaming unicorn soaring through space with peace symbols around it. Right. Okay. And let's try Piece of Asia. American arm of Lang Tai, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. According to the site, the tie in Lang Tai translates to peaceful. Oh, so they chose a name in America to match. That makes sense. There's a lot of other companies listed, too many to investigate, as very few seem to have any relevance. It seems Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as Lang Tai. Okay, I don't think there's anything useful. It's to be owned by husband and wife Jerry and Linda Han. Oh wait, Lang Xinyu. Jerry is Han and Linda is Lang Jinyao. So that is the daughter, right? No. I'm so sorry, that is Xinyu. Okay, well while we're here, let's try Lang Xinyu. And let's see, and let's just take it back here, okay. Han Junwei? No, let's try Jerry Junwei. But it just says Han. No wait. Jerry Han. Let's try Jerry Han. There we go. Jerry, Linda, and Mark Han. Who the hell's Mark Han? Maybe this is infidel. Focus on philanthropy. Under the headline, Hanging with the Hands. Brilliant. The Hands were chosen because they donate significantly to causes that further Chinese-American culture. Jerry and Linda were both born in China and fell in love during college. Linda's father led a large company. The article never names it. Surely it's the candy company. Or the textile company even. After expanding to the US, Linda's father approved their marriage so long as Jerry took over the US portion of the business. Linda jokes the entire situation is like something out of an Alanis Morissette about with how ironic. Let's try that again. I can't speak these words. Alanis Morissette song with how ironic it all ended up. It's exactly like that. It's like marrying a businessman. I was absolutely terrified to move to the United States when my big sister was desperately in love with the idea. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on her wall. I'm obsessed with Robert Redford. But somehow Jerry and I were the ones sent here, and now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, he never... I think this could be it. Husband... Maybe this one? Husband. Wife. Mark. We got 3 names down here. We never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister said in China had thrived there. She doesn't even like this in the US anymore. Our kids are complete kids. No, oh no. Oh, is that like mine and my sister's kids? Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now, working with his sister, our niece. With my okay. Our niece who grew up there was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get here. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school and flew out here as soon as she graduated. Okay, so we don't... I feel like there's so many family in there. So many family. Lucy Lang is not exactly a common name, but it's not the most uncommon you come... Okay, there are a few that come up with any searchable details, so it might be possible to narrow down your possibilities. Lucy Lang is mentioned on a robotics website as part of Team Talonclaw. Wow. Wow, new... Oh my god, new robot based? Is this robot... What's it called? Robot Wars? Oh my god. Team Talonclaw? Lucy Lang was in Robot Wars? She has a small women's a cappella group in Los Angeles called Gin and Tonics, or Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited. Oh, I bet it's that one. I bet it's the bloody boring one. Listed in rank one of the top facilitators in the world by Whip Business Watch magazine. Oh, we can search for her there. As far as you can tell, CSSU is a company that the companies hire as consultants screen free. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Okay, well let's try Lucy Lang in Business Watch, because we haven't done anything of Business Watch in a while. Corporate Center, yes. Each person features an article has a small bio section, followed by a long section about why they were chosen. She grew up in a small Arkansas town, the oldest of 4 children. This is not the right Lucy Lang. She's only the second person in her family to ever have left the state since her great-grandparents were located in the 1900s. She earned her degree from prestigious New York College, started in June. Why am I even reading this? It's not relevant, is it? No. I don't think this is relevant. Oh god, I hate these rabbit holes. They really get me. Gin and Tonics. Surely not. Lucy Lang is listed as soprano. There doesn't seem to be much else about her. She performs as a soloist in a song Like the Wind. Can I search for Like the Wind? We love getting a song. We got a... Oh my god. This is such a long article about a bloomin' song. Okay, Subways of Your Mind by FEX is an early 1980s pop song. I'm just going to scan it. Okay, 1 minute. The final paragraph. Also, it turns out Like the Wind isn't called Like the Wind. It's just the first line of the song. When searching for combinations of Like the Wind and attempting to narrow it down to results that include the Roottrees, you find that an obscure Irish band called U2, once cited... Why is U2 getting so many hits today? Once cited both FEX and Jim and Diamond as inspirations. Oh. As far as you can tell, neither FEX nor Subways has anything to do with your search. And seeing as U2 is relatively unknown to anyone outside of Dublin, the connection seems to be an odd coincidence. Poor U2, nothing... Oh man. Right. Team Talonclaw. Let's search for that. Okay. Another one. Let's race through this. The travelling members are so they're currently in the UK, filming Robot Wars, potentially. Jaya Patel, Lucy Lang and Kurt Hauser are all in the UK. There is Mid-Eastern University. It says here the school's newspaper. So can I search for Mid-Eastern University newspaper? Don't know. Again, this is the biggest rabbit hole. You know, ages ago, when I was on the Brazil page, I said there's a few things here we need to search. We'll come back in a minute. I don't think we're coming back. I've forgotten what I need to search. But let's just remember, we're going to Brazil soon. The mascot is the Spectres, so they're not known for their sports programs as much as their education. Their legal and language departments are the pride and joy. They also have a fairly extensive computer science and robotics program. Along with other prestigious schools, they haven't quite reached the notoriety of Ivy League schools. Some refer to it as Little Ivy. That's cute. The colleges embrace this, calling their newspaper the Herald, which is a combination of Hedera, the scientific name for Ivy, and Herald. Okay, that would have gone over my head if I went there. Maybe it wouldn't if I went there. The website boasts that they have a historical technology museum on campus, including a still functioning computer from the 1960s that takes up a full room. They have a printing press that print one special year-end issue of the Herald. Oh my god! Achievement: discover every periodical. Every periodical. That's it. No more. Let's search for Lucy Lang. There we go. Talonclaw.png. Oh, I love to see a PNG right now. How many people are in this PNG though? Just one. And it must be Lucy Lang. Oh my god, look at that robot. Oh, that wouldn't beat Stinger though. It wouldn't beat Hypnodisc. Let me tell you that. Hypnodisc would take those wheels off. Man, I used to love Robot Wars. Robot Wars is so good. Okay, great. There is Lucy Lang, aka Lucy Min. Talonclaw. That's why she got a different name. Okay. The Herald has a story about the school's robotics team. Team Talonclaw lists 3 student members and talks a little bit about each of their history, including their interest in robotics. The only one that catches your attention is Lucy Lang. She grew up in China as Min Lang, but came to the US specifically. Oh, right. That was her original name. Her mother was annoyed about Lucy. Remember that. Yep. She says she grew up around factory-scale machines that assemble products that would be shipped all over the world, and the moving parts and automation fascinated her. However, as she was progressed through the majors, she became obsessed with smaller, more powerful products, such as the mechanism that closes Talonclaw's weapon. Talonclaw being the robot. She loves linguistics. One of her hobbies since coming to the States has been collecting accents. In her spare time, she practices not only removing any trace of her native inflection, but also quickly switching between multiple different regional accents. She feels her best is the Southern Belle, but her favourite is the Valley Girl. Wow. Interesting. Right. I've got her picture. I don't know still which one you are. I'm going to guess this one, because Lucy Lang's parents were mentioned, weren't they? Whereas this one doesn't seem to have a husband mentioned. I guess this person... Wait, Lucy Lang... Oh god, I'm getting all my stories mixed up. Who was the one that didn't have children? That was the Australian lady, wasn't it? Yes, I think. Maybe. Lucy Lang. Jerry Han. Here we go. No, your sister. Where is it? It says your name somewhere, doesn't it? Sister, damn it. It just says my sister everywhere. Is that all it says? She, my sister, big sister, Alanis Morissette. Okay, so maybe this must be Xinyu. Xinyu. Why didn't I put your name in? Oh, Lang. Why didn't I put your name in? It's not Lucy, was it? What was your original name? Min Lang. Right, you are a student, I guess? Student in college? Robotic person isn't a thing. Right, so you must be... I've forgotten already. Lang Xinyu. There we go. We got Xinyu PNG. Give me that PNG. Where is it? There she is. Look at her. Oh my god. A photo of Lang Xinyu from a recent article at the group of female entrepreneurs in China. She runs a business, many textile factories. Brilliant. And she is rocking it. Look at that. These... What are these? Oh, is this chocolate bar? Chocolate bars? Oh my god. I don't know. It looks like a chocolate bar. Anyway, let's read the article before we get into it. Let's put her in there. I'd hate to have to move all this over there, but we may have to. News. In China, yes, came first. She was recently listed in an article on a website written by and for women. The article, entitled Empowered, is about the recent rise of women entrepreneurs in China. The article states that due to her lack of brothers, she has a younger sister. Lang Xinyu took over her COO's family company in 1982, after her elderly uncle was deemed unfit to run the company due to mental deterioration. This is apparently an extremely controversial move amongst the company's employees, and some of them, the article does not say how many, quit and wrote a letter stating they must have coerced him in the vulnerable state. Since then, the company has been performing well. Her nephew, who's currently her second in command, cool, Mark, is expected to take over when she retires. In the meantime, the board's stance has been a twist on a popular proverb. The article roughly translates it as, someone that has proven they can do something well and can do it 100 times well. An unproven leader could doom us all. What? Okay. The article also apparently mentions that Xinyu was an early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have a child. Interesting. So does that mean that maybe that's not you, maybe this is you? That can't be you, because that would have locked in. Oh my god, right. So this must be you. You don't have a husband, maybe. You had IVF. Maybe from somebody else. If you're like willing to get your sister's eggs and stuff inside, then maybe she also was happy to get like somebody else random. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. If you can't tell. Well, that didn't lock in either, which is a bit of a pain. Oh no, that is bad. Wait, is robot there? No. What haven't I got right then? 1, 2. Cam Lincoln. Is Cam wrong? Is there a Cameron? No. Lisa Clementine. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go back. I thought I'd locked that in. Is sous chef one? No. Head chef? Well, let's put in her at least. Lang Jinyu. Oops. Completely wrong. Jinyu Lang. She is potentially there. And let's see if it's locked in. If it doesn't, I don't know what to do. Is she a CEO? I guess she is, right? Oh, flip. Let's just check that she's listed as CEO. CEO, right. Okay, well then let's try her over here as well. Lang. CEO. That's her photo. And then let's try... This isn't good. This isn't good. What have I done wrong? If neither of these are working, that means 2 of these are wrong. Right? Because that's got to be right. That's got to be right. That is a child. I don't know what else I can say about it. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's a student, K-12. Maybe they've grown. I think it was recent though. Clementine Lisa, she was a professor. She was in the army, but now she's a professor. Military? They said she was a professor though. I remember that. So we got 6 people, but 2 of them are wrong. Wait, now that he's that, let's put her in there. No, okay. And now let's try. We're trying to trial and error this. No. Oh no, it's bad, isn't it? So have I got these 2 the wrong way around? James and Robert. But James was definitely the younger one. And it said that he was wearing a red... No, it didn't say he was wearing a red vest. It said he was wearing a sous jacket. Jacket? Where are they gone? Robert, who's 3 years younger than James. Robert, who is... Oh, flipping heck. Ah! Okay, something's right. But also something's wrong. Oh, because I put him as a K-12 student, right? He's a baby. He's still a baby. Nice. Okay, we'd love to see it. None. None optional. Okay, so you are a baby. That's good. That gives us a free one. And you are locked in there. Great. Okay, cool. So now, maybe we go back to Brazil. We've only got 1 left. Oh, and this one. And that one. We need 2 photos, some spouses, and 2 people as a whole. 2 people as a whole. But, oh my god, we're getting there. Right, so what's been... 6 pieces? Still important. Oh, because I think we're still working with Brazil, which would still be relevant to 6 pieces. Pico T. 8 pages. 8 clues in this red herring page, which I think I must be wrong about. Signature, because there's still a clue about the mother. So I'm still missing something here about the mother. Still 1 clue in telephone. Oh, baby. I haven't locked that in, have I? Oh, baby. I haven't locked that in. Right. So let's go back. I think we can get out of China. Let's have a quick look at Roottreemania, France. I think Roottreemania, Brazil is maybe our way in, but non-starting. No, broke down. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. Tristan Robert, let's have a look at you. Businessman who at one time was in negotiations to take over Roottreemania, France. He is still alive, and you come across an interview unrelated to Roottreemania from a few months ago. It seems that other countries have not been immune to Roottreemania, as recognised the word Roottreemania in one of the questions. It seems the interviewer snuck in a question about his experience with the company in the end of the 70s. The article is in French and takes some time to translate section by section. He mentions a guy by the first name only, and the tale he tells is quite ugly. No, I'm not doing a French. I'm not doing a French accent. Guy, the president of Roottreemania, was one of the worst men I've ever met. He approached my wife for having an affair. She refused. He then kept insisting that this was the best way to celebrate the end of our business contract. I don't think he expected her to say no, and I don't think he thought she would tell me what happened. I punched her in the face and refused to attend another meeting with this man. They lost a lot of money in this deal because not only was he a horrible person, but he was also a terrible businessman, and he died shortly after it. It felt like the universe was working things out. I wasn't surprised to learn he had a secret child. He seemed to treat women like the collectible pocket monster. Pokemon. It seems mentioning Pokemon sidetracks the questions a bit. Can I touch Pokemon? I can. Besides Roottreemania, Pokemania has swept the globe. It's unclear if the franchise will have any lasting presence or if it will fade like Roottreemania has. Well, let me tell you this. Never heard of it. Never heard of Pocket Monsters. I have no idea. No idea what that could be. Right, Roottreemania Brazil. What was it that we were searching for? Roottreemania everywhere got us confused. Right, Alablagalas. Okay, it's a real place in Brazil. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson looked up at cities in Brazil that had a lot of manufacturing. So, okay. He did not want to offend any Brazilians. The tale he was writing that involved corruption and politics. So the small town he made up Alablagalas, where the country was okay. Interglass and Alablagalas. So I think the location, São Bernardo do Campo, isn't relevant. And the town isn't relevant. Okay, but Edson Soares, I had Edson Soares once, it was awful. Is a Brazilian politician. You find a dissertation published by a college student as part of the PhD in history. It focused on the rise of democracy in Brazil. It seems up until 1988, Brazil was run by the military, and the politics during the time were often a hotbed for corruption and nepotism. The paper tells of a few politicians at the time, including Edson Soares. Edson Soares was former mayor of Alagoas. Brazil became for politics. He was a manager as an automotive manufacturer plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Alagoas by the military government in 1973. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background and knowledge of American business to establish new factory, distribution plants, and other business ventures in the area. There are two side effects. First, became quite rich. Second, many locals relocated. Wow. In a move to counteract the unpopularity, his wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telerede. He often used his connection to ensure supporters would appear on local television. Okay, that makes sense. He remained in office until 1988 when he was defeated in the first election after the military government was no longer in control, and he quickly left the town behind. It's not known where he's gone, but this station even speculates he likely fled to stay alive. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's search for Telerede. It came into being in 1970 after a vacuum was created due to the removal of different networks. Okay. Yeah, much to go on all about who ran it. Okay, can we search for Sonia Soares? Sonia Soares? Bad name, no offense. Alliterations, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Flavio Soares, who has a mother named Sonia. Oh, interesting. So Sonia may have got Flavio into the business. Flavio was a young Brazilian newscaster with a bit of a cult following. The discourse surrounding him is, to put it in polite terms, lewd. There's a website about something called fan fiction that has a new fan fiction in the 1990s. It seems that women and some men of a wide variety of ages and writing skill tend to find it worthy of inclusion in their stories. You skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is that he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of picture rather quickly. As is tradition, yes. There are also other traditional fan sites that say some things about him, including his age, 18, his zodiac sign Libra, his favorite food, grilled steak, and his mother's name, Sonia. Also, it seems that Flavio translated to is golden haired. One website with a signed publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. The photo has been added to evidence. It must be him then, right? To Natasha, kisses from Brazil. Flavio. Wow. Handsome man. So that must be you, right? Flavio? Oh wait, I put in Ling Min, so it won't allow me to put Flavio Soares. Oh, it's probably Soares, isn't it? Sorry, not Soares. That's a much better name. So it's given us a picture, so it must be you. And you must be Sonia. Surname unknown. We don't know. And you were someone Soares. What was your name? Sorry, Sir Flavio Soares. Sonia Edson Soares. Right. Okay. So where do we learn Sonia's name? Sonia didn't come up. That's interesting, isn't it? We look at Telerode. Can we look at Telerode Sonia? Nothing. Nothing about all that. Where do we find more about Sonia then? I don't know. Let's try Ashley York. Seems really irrelevant, but does add to perfume clothing and jewelry. She has the subject of some controversy in the past few months. Having protested by Peter for wearing fur on the cover of some magazine, she's dating a young Brazilian news athlete named Flavio Soares, which has brought them both somewhat to the spotlight. Okay. So where do we... Can I read some of this fan fiction that might mention the mother's name? Sonia. If I find out the maiden name, maybe there's more online about her. It's weird. You think there would be more about her, seeing as she's on news, on something. Do we think any of this family will be in News Time or pick up a Teen Blast? Oh, Teen Blast, maybe. There might be something about Flavio. And it might give a little rundown. Tells us about Ashley York. She was on the cover of Teen Blast. She dating Flavio. In it, a Teen Blast reporter asks how they met. I was in Rio for Carnival and he was on one of the parade floats. I have no idea who he was, but I quite saw and told people to invite him to the party I was going to. I felt pretty stupid once I realised that we were going to his party. Oh my god. Well, his mother's party. She runs a media empire down there called Transmiss Sao Paulo. Right, there we go. That's great. Sonia Alves. Mysterious woman. It seems Sonia Alves is a common name in Brazil, so she sought her name to Nia to stand out in the public eye. According to a histories page, let's focus on a company and vague on searchable details. Nia received a significant inheritance in 1980 and invested it in many different manufacturing businesses in her hometown in Brazil. At the same time, she has begun to learn the ins and outs of running a television network. Oh, she insignificant inheritance? You mean keep quiet about my son? Maybe. She continued to work in television until 1988 when Brazil began its period of reform. She felt this was a perfect opportunity to launch her own media company during using her investments and connections. Okay, wow, she earns a lot. After doing some translating, the page about Nia lists her as unmarried. It does not go. Okay, it doesn't say about. So they split up. We know that. Good. It does go on. Such a Nia online. So Nia would get us nothing. No. Sonia Alves. Alves must be her maiden name. Then whom stood. Okay, which is Portuguese for no relevant results. Okay, well we think that's her. Sonia Alves. Maybe. CEO. She's a CEO. Yeah, she's a CEO. That's funny. That it was right. Right, but we need a picture of her. Sonia Alves. There's nothing about Nia. Can we search for Transmiss Sao Paulo? Oops. With Sonia afterwards? No. Too long. Wait, what does Flavio do? I forgot what Flavio does. Sorry, I left student college in it. News anchor. Okay, great. Well, there's one at least. News anchor. And Sonia, how do I get Sonia Alves? How do I get a photo of her? Actually, how do I get a photo of everybody? Oh, not looking good for me, is it? Can we look at Nia? Not in Teen Blast, but maybe Supermarket Tabloid, News Time. There won't be any Business Watch. Was it just Nia? Okay, now let's try Sonia Alves. Oh wait, let's try Transmiss Sao Paulo actually. In the same ones. Come up many times. Yep, okay. There's too many results based on one of mentions name drop. That's to be useful. Okay, let's try News Time. Nothing. Let's try Picoti. Nothing. Nothing else will have anything about her really, will it? Silver Screen, no. No, okay, now let's try. We're going to be trying a lot of stuff here. I will see you in a minute. I've hit a slight rut with these guys. I don't know where I'll find a picture of her from. I searched like everything in the newspapers. I've searched pretty much everything on online. Oh, I haven't searched for this. Incendio de Bordeaux. Translated Maple Fire. In 82, the factory was deliberately attacked in case of clear arson. The fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production floor. Whoa. It smelled like a mix of burning plastic and maple syrup. Oh, that's kind of annoying because you want to smell the syrup, but you don't want to smell the plastic. Rebuild continues. Okay. The news special did list this article as well as yours in small towns back specific. Okay. So maybe there'll be news about this. Maybe again, take this to not Teen Blast. I don't think there's going to be anything about it in Teen Blast. Picotee, News Time, Business Watch. No. Okay. Maybe it'll be in English though. Wait, what was the English translation? Maple Fire. Let's try. Well, let's just search it in here as well. Maybe there's English. No. Maple Fire. I'm getting desperate here, aren't I? Nothing. News Time. Nothing. Picotee. Is there anything else that's like a more of a general magazine? There's not. Is there? Major Portland one. No. I think I am going through the right three. I think like this is more like pop culture-y stuff, but maybe it has like I think pop culture is quite vague nowadays. Right, in the 90s. Not nowadays. Okay, so maybe that fire was just a little bit of a red herring. Not red herring, but world building. World building. And then finally, Nova Corporación de Doces Brazil. Let's have a look what that does. Is this... Does this just give me the same page? Okay, well that doesn't help then, does it? Nope. Shall we have a little look at the newspapers again? Team Blast. What do you mean there's nothing about you in there? Nope. Portland Telegraph, obviously not. Okay, I think I've hit a dead end. So I think that means we have to maybe figure out what this is pointing us towards. 8 clues. Also, is Sizey not on here? Sizey Sanchez wasn't relevant. I was so sure Sizey was going to be something. Right, let's look for the big bass, sea bass, inside. I must have done this. Inside Picotee. Yeah, I want these pictures. That was the big mystery. This is it. This must be the 8th thing. Pictures of everybody. Pictures of everybody, right? But how do I get from Guy Hudson to this mysterious item? Because the picture of this issue is pulled from some sort, making it subject of some conspiracies and an instant collector's item due to the recall. Can we look up conspiracies again? Didn't we search for conspiracies or something in the original game, and it like gave us loads of information? It's like, what did I search though? Root tree conspiracy. I don't know what I searched for. There we go. This is new. Yeah. This is the page I was on before. I think. I'm pretty. I don't remember any of this. Yes, Chris. Yes, I remember seeing that email address. Right. Yes. So we got news. Oh my god. Okay, great. We figured out. Well, maybe we figured out the one word that we needed to find on that page. During your initial search, you came across the Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the root trees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor count has reached 7 digits. Wow. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in root trees news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base news theories on. I should have come straight away. How did I forget about conspiracy theories? One of his theories involves root tree deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in family, the odds are that one of them is faked their death. It's just maths. I don't know anybody who's faked their death. Or do I? This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mention that he's begun believing that Guy's not dead theory. My eyes have been opened. All of this is beginning to make so much sense. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottree is still in charge. Gwyn Rootree's death was fake, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently, this allowed Ron to travel to France to learn the new candy pie recipe. Where did I get pie? Candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper's 5-piece. He can't possibly be Roottree. One of his first album song, which is performing under the devil name, actually remembers that he wanted to have sex with Rihanna. Yeah, he didn't know that, did he? Not even Sam Madsen's is spared. According to Overwood, the author of Six Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram of Am Madness. There's purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using 6 pieces for Lauren Ritchie's book as a one-time pad. What's a one-time pad? As a one-time pad. He's begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness. There's also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000, is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottree's red hand in Operation R229. What? Not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola. Oh my god, right. Let's put up this. Is this a thing? This hasn't been updated. Have I read this? Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I remember this. Okay, right, yes, I remember that. Where was the other one? Roottrees are dead. Paul's not dead. Let's try Guy's not dead. Oh my god, 2 pages? Okay. Oh, and a JPEG? And 2 JPEGs? Oh my god. Guys Not Dead Conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that the Roottrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes on candy wrappers, in print advertisements, in television commercials, in the jingles, etc. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president, we know that, and introduced medical failed products. Yep, we're aware. Something needed to be done that needed to put the company immediately in. That makes sense, yeah, kill him off. Actually, you know what? I'm on board. The move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out of the limelight, and some people even theorized that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise. The people who run the site are asking for help. They're certain that there's a clue to all this accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine. Oh, this is the page we needed. On the page is a scan of a magazine's cover, the interview with the Society Sanchez. Okay. Oh my god. This is it. And there's PNGs. Who's that? Oh my god. Do we think this is the Brazilian couple? This photo is the first from a magazine interview with Society Sanchez and Pictoti. The issue of Pictoti magazine that it came from was pulled from shelves, yes. It does not label the individual photos. Both photos were instead under the share label. Society was provided these photos by the Roottree company for use in her book. In the background of this photo, there's a Christmas tree. Are you relevant? Are you relevant as well? Who are you then? Are you? Do we have? Who are you? If these are those 2 people, who's the other person? Who's this mysterious 3rd person in this photograph? Maybe it's not these 2 then, unless Pharaoh Christine's there, but I don't think so. Christmas. Was Christmas mentioned at all in the stuff about the being in Brazil? I don't know. That's like near the beginning of 1979. So it might have been, you know, there might have been some business done over Christmas. Maybe. And then we've got you shaking a man's hand. You look like Clark. And who is this lady? I don't know. Okay. We don't know who you are. You are Maple Leaf in the background. That doesn't narrow it down. You might be her, Pharaoh Christine. You look like sort of a secretary. I'm just basing this on people that I need photos of. I think that's Clark. I think that might be a photo of Clark. Oh, maybe we need a photo of Chris apparently. I didn't realise that. Oh wait, no, you're definitely Zach, aren't you? Look at that. Not Clark at all. Oh, so there could be one of these random people up here. Right, well we've got 2 photos of Guy. Let's put them both in. I think it might be. You know, we have 2 holes and 2 people, and 1 hole and 1 person. It just makes sense that this is how they've given us the information. This was the interview. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write the book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 1970s, right? Yeah, I met him on a New Year's Eve, actually. Oh, that might be Sisley then. That might be Sisley in the background. New Year's Eve party. Maybe. I was just coming off Changed Man and looking for my next project when his wife learned who I was. She invited me to the party and she cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me for my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to say. Chop, chop, snip, snip, anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. What's the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to 2 traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottreemania, and second, he'd never be satisfied living the life he needed to be seen that way. Wow. Okay, he had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick out women. But he couldn't let anybody else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers, really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottreemania was boring as hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way, and after I submitted the first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottreemania Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. Oh, really? And remember fancy flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias' legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do. Caviar was a disaster here, but it was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Roottreemania Brazil factory. There we go, confirmed. Guy was also hopping around the world trying to recreate their success, so how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anyone in legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family were wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I had already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it, a big shiny embossed letters, like all problems in his life. Throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. It had half the page count and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie, something into the bathroom. Do I know a Susie? Into the bathroom to proposition me. Poor girl, I remember her from our trips overseas. She was good for him. Anyways, he died soon after and that was the last day ever came up. So maybe that's Susie in that photo. Susie Sanchez. Do we know a Susie? No, wait. Maybe that's Susie or maybe that's Susie. One of these might be Susie. We haven't got a Susie, have we? Susan Ford. Ah, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's you. Maybe. I guess we'll find out very, very soon. What can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals in the recent book with Sam Marsden? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumours, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottreemania Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France and China too, where he met with someone. When he met with someone, I'd figured out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin. He and her definitely spent a few nights together, and that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Yeah, that didn't actually get put in the thing, did it? But I knew about that. Sam mentions Guy affairs and treats Marsden got things wrong. Sam mentions Guy's affairs and treats them like most people would logically trying to treat them. Like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public it was a marriage like any other, but in reality it was more of a mutual beneficial agreement. They both got what they wanted out of it, the same thing. A lavender marriage? Oh no wait, that's something else. I'm assuming I can only spell it out for you so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women, Patricia. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, but the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in traditional marriage at the same time, could bed any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, let's put all these faces in. I think I might have them all. You are that one. You must be that one. And then maybe you're that one. Oh no. Maybe you're I'm just thinking this because this is the most recent. Maybe you're not a CEO. You're sort of like a she ran a lot of stuff. Media mogul. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh wait, 32. There was only 30 a minute ago. I swear. Where did the last two come from? That was a A big pull, media mogul. Love it for me. Booyah. So now what? We done? Hello?
Hi again.
Hey.
I know you probably thought you were done.
I literally just did, yes.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Yeah.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring
Right.
you things.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's.
What?
Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential root trees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's.
Oh my god, if you tell me that somehow Bonnie is not a root tree.
But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies.
Yes.
We need you to find the smoking guns.
Oh my god.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a root tree,
Or any you've got definitive evidence are root trees.
No.
Then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Huh? There's more to this game? There's more? Inconsistencies. Filling in this person is optional. Now it's time to review all possible root trees and impute deductions. Then you'll then be able to end your search and reveal the truth. You have 13 possible root trees left to identify. What? Are you kidding me? And then there's 2 other people in here, which is apparently another infidelity. You've got to be kidding me. How? Oh my god, I don't have enough information for this. I don't have any faces. I don't have any names. This is mad. Right, let's read that thing. According to Clark, Ruby Spratt, the company's lawyer, was caught throwing away the DNA samples from Bonnie Hudson. These were intended to be used to test new potential root trees. Something doesn't sit right with Sam, and the 2 of you asked for your help. They're hoping that you, with your evidence and understanding of the family tree, you could verify which people in the dotted line, boxes are most certainly legitimate root trees. Very unlikely to be legitimate root trees. I'm sure them are doing rigorous. Okay. Additionally, with a suspicion of Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of the behaviours in the past have been also been cast into doubt. A new section of the tree has been added for you to fill in. Gang. Oh yeah. I've got 1 clue apparently. Notable events and reminders. Well, I guess one of them must be a notable event. And what's the reminders? I don't know. November? Maybe November? This is mad. Oh wait. These 2. I just saw Ron and Robbie were in there. They're possible root trees? Huh? Wait, what? So one of them might not be Gwyn's child? Oh my god. I don't know what's... You haven't found this clue yet? How do I find clues? This is absolutely crazy. I think this is tricky though, because like so many of these, I don't know. They've all been deductions based on timing, right? How can I look at this and say, oh yeah, that was definitely what made her pregnant? I don't know. I don't know how to do this. This is really tricky. Oh god. Right, well, I guess I'll come back to that. And the fact that I'm missing so many clues as well really doesn't fill me with hope. I don't know. I will see you next time. If you have any hints, please help me out. And have a good week, everyone. I'll see you real soon. I really thought this was over. I really thought this was the final episode. And now there's more. So that's great, isn't it? But thanks. Hope you're enjoying. I'll see you again soon. Have a good week. Goodbye.